All right. Well, it looks like we got a dozen folks around the table, if you want to call it a table. Great to see everyone. Thank you very much for joining. We got a bunch of guests, a bunch of regulars, and the guests are going to have to figure out who the regulars are. Now, I guess we'll probably we won't make it that hard. But this is the Trusted Referral Network. So if you were looking for the Trusted Referral Network, you found it. We are a group of marketing services providers around the country, mostly small providers. Many of us have a niche, and we find opportunities to collaborate and refer business and learn from one another. We meet, as I said, twice a month on the fourth Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's today. And then on the second Tuesday of the month, and I think the next one is February 9, be sure. And that will be 11 a.m. Eastern for those on the West Coast, 8 a.m. And the format is we usually have a showcase. Oftentimes it's spur of the moment. And today we do not have anybody signed up. So if somebody wants to do a spur of the moment showcase.
When, today or later?
Today. We don't have to do it up front. I'm gonna, last time Rajiv and Lynn did one on Lily launch tools.
Lily, yeah, we're happy to do that again, because we got like a lot of good response. I'm happy to reprise that role. But it'll be a lot shorter. It'll be a lot shorter.
If anybody wants to
do something.
Rochelle, you want to do something? Okay. Yeah. And we've actually had guests do this showcase. I mean, obviously we're not going to put anybody on the hot seat. Speaking of which,
I can speak about something.
All right, we'll give you a little bit of time. So maybe what we'll do is we'll start off with intros, give you, Rochelle, a bit of time to think about how you want to present or what you want to present. And then also Rajiv asked if he could get some feedback from the group on some taglines, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Lynn, you might want to change the name. You have Rajiv as your name on there. So for the benefit of, don't laugh so hard, Rajiv. For the benefit of the folks that don't know you, I think he's trying to undermine you with technological wizardry. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, she's my fellow assassin.
Your fellow assassin, exactly.
Assassinating stress.
So what we'll do, I'm going to drop in the chat the order in which people showed up. And we'll do, if your first of all, take a look at that list. I just dropped it in the chat. Make sure your name is on there. And I think we'll do like 2 minutes or something along those lines. Let me get my timer up. Apps. My timer was flaking out last time. Let's hope it works better this time. And you should see it show up. So in the intros, tell us who you are, what you do, where you're located as a start, and how you can help others and what you're looking for. Part of what you're looking for might be your ideal client profile. Who's that? How do you define who's a perfect fit for you? And ideally, of course, what makes you different? That doesn't necessarily have to be related to your work, although it's good if it is. Something that we can remember you by. Maybe you played professional baseball when you were 23 years old or something, like Alan Winnikoff. Okay. In his dreams.
Yeah, they always want uncoordinated old Jews like me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rajiv. Oh, by the way, I'm going to move it into speaker mode. So if you would go on mute while people are talking, that way only the speaker will be highlighted. And the reason I do that is because I'm recording, and the speaker view is better for recording. So Rajiv, take it away.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Great to be here. Happy New Year. I guess I can still say that. Happy New Year. It's 2024. We made it. That's awesome. So the question is, what do I do? As you can see from my Zoom background, if you can't see it, let me read it out to you. It says Assassins for Hire. I'm an assassin. I assassinate scandal. I also assassinate stress. The scandal that I erase is any misinformation that you see on Google, anything that disagrees with you, that you say shouldn't be there. I can erase it. I can get rid of it. I can make it like it never was. So that's basically what I do on Google, social, any piece of content, anywhere can be erased, gone. So that's basically what I do. The reason why I do it is because, well, there's a lot of misinformation floating around, and that misinformation can confuse your customers, and they will believe the worst of you and will choose to not work with you. And that's not a good thing. And that's a wrong that needs to be righted, and that's why I do what I do. Success guaranteed or your money back. My ask for the group is introductions to people in advertising, marketing, PR, crisis communication, as well as trusted advisors to millionaires and billionaires through dumb shit. Those are the people that I'm looking to meet. The flip side of what I do is also do product launch. I helped Unilever get into the Guinness Book of Records by creating their most successful product launch till date for Lipton. The campaign was so successful, it sold out twice nationally in retail and wholesale back to back, 2 months in a row in India. And we created the world's largest online collaborative jigsaw puzzle that had 300,000 active users at the height of its campaign. As far as product launch goes, please use Lily Launch Tool. It's a great software for goal setting. And we also offer premium onboarding and premium support for free on a weekly basis. So if you want to know more about that, reach out to either me or Lynn, and we'd be happy to tell you all about it. I'll leave it there, Michael, and thank you all for your attention.
All right, thank you. Zev Gotkin.
Hey, so I was just pulling up, I think. Zev Gotkin, founder, CEO of ZV Media. We're a boutique digital advertising agency. We help our clients get real results through a lot of case studies we have, getting people 6 to 32 times returns on ad spend, primarily through growth marketing strategies on Facebook and Google. We do a lot of Google ads, Facebook ads, and things like that. But we're really also a full service agency that can help with anything from websites to SEO to social media. And really looking forward to networking with all of you and figuring out ways that we can collaborate. And our primary audience right now, hospitality, restaurant groups, hotel chains, and the like, but not only. We've worked with probably every vertical under the sun.
Very cool. Okay. I sent you an email. Want to follow up on something. Did you see it? Email about something for your presentation. Your event.
Now I see it from yesterday. Yeah, it's been very hectic a lot this start of the new year in a good way.
All right, cool. Anything else you want to add? Something unique about yourself? Help people remember who you are and what you do.
Unique about myself. I live in Queens. I don't know. That's not really unique, but yeah, that's all I got right now.
All right, you'll have to work on that one. All right, Alan Winnikoff.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So hi, everybody. We are in heavy new business development mode, as I'm sure a lot of you are. And I will tell you about us. We are a PR and social media firm. 20 years ago this month, January of 2004, we started working with clients. So we are exactly at our 20th anniversary. But when I say we're a PR, thank you, Michael. When I say we were a PR and social media firm, we started out as a PR firm 20 years ago because there really wasn't any social media. Social has become a big part of our business, of course, as well as a lot of other marketing services. And I started out by saying we're in business development mode. What are the kinds of clients we're working with? We're generalists. And while we don't do everything, we do a lot of different things. So we're talking to a commercial real estate company with a unique selling point about representing them. We're talking to a high-end retail mall chain. They don't call themselves mall because they're too high-end for that. But they're doing pop-up stores around the Southeast, and they're looking for some social and affinity marketing as well as PR. And they asked me, do you do affinity marketing? I said, sure, we do affinity marketing. And then we're also talking to a nonprofit. They need a lot of help. So we can work with a lot of different kinds of companies. But the thing I get most out of this networking group is that we help each other. And so some of you on this call I have approached to bring you into projects. Others have brought me into projects. And I think that's how we need to look at it, is that it's collaborative and we're here to help each other. And it's not what can you do for me, but I'm asking you, what can I do for you? Feel free to reach out for me and let's see how we can collaborate together, because I look forward to working with you all. I think that is, it sparks creativity and it ultimately is profitable for all of us.
Got a quick question. Is the commercial real estate company a developer or are they a broker?
No, they're a broker, but they have a they're, it's funny because they have a technological aspect to what they do, a proprietary technology, and that's what makes it interesting from my point of view as a PR story. And also, we're not a commercial real estate company, so there are some PR firms that only do that, but we're not. But because they're not a traditional company, it makes sense for us to look at it from a broader perspective.
All right, we'd love to learn more. We'll connect. Lynn Donaldson. By the way, so far it's just been members. First guest will be Jeff Schaffzin, but Lynn, you're next.
Hi, I'm Lynn Donaldson, not Rajiv, from Connected Strategic Solutions Group. And let me ask you a question. How many people here take a tablet of some sort for an illness? You don't have to tell me what it is, but just take a tablet. Okay. Who uses a medical device of some description? Okay, that's what we do. We help things get to market. Those drugs, those medical devices, that's what we help to get to market. We do that using our 3 Ps. People is building the right team, and that's through executive coaching. Product is building the product strategy and developing the strategic plan, and then implementation plan. And then process, you've heard from Rajiv about our tool, Lily Launch Tools. What that does is it takes the strategy that we're building and it puts it all into one place so that people don't think, where's this, where's that, how do I do this, who's doing that? It's all in one place. So that's what we do. We predominantly work with pharmaceutical and medical devices and medical directors within those companies. We work with medium-sized and small-sized clients, and those that really still believe in doing what's right for the patient, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, who really want to help patients. What do I do? Should I say, what can I do for you? Is a little bit of coaching. So one of the things that I do is executive coaching. And if anybody here is struggling and just wants a free hour of coaching on mindset and helping them pull things round, I'm happy to do that for you. I'll give you a free hour. Something you don't know about me is I have 2 birth certificates. I have one because I was born in Kenya, and I was born in a military hospital because my dad was in the army over in Kenya. And so I have a Kenyan birth certificate and a UK birth certificate, citizen in both the UK and US, but I'm not citizen in Kenya yet. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much. All right. So I wrote all that down. Kenyan, UK military, US citizen. Jeff Schaffzin, our first guest. Are you with us, Jeff? You may be on mute. Or did he leave? No, it looks like his video is off, so maybe he's having challenges. Jeff, can you hear us?
He's there. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry
your
about
turn.
that. Yeah.
Go for it.
So, thank you so much for the introduction, Michael. And I love the energy that everyone has in here. So love to introduce myself and my organization. So I am the founder of the Genesis Group. There's actually a number of Genesis groups, but we are different in the regard that we provide, solid partnerships from the beginning of your enterprise or your company. I come from the world of IT and development and quickly moved into go-to-market and marketing when I realized that I was able to interface very well with both people who are technical as well as business-oriented to achieve some really amazing things. So when I created the Genesis Group back about 23 years ago, it was a very exciting time because it was kind of like now where it's kind of nebulous. Companies are, looking to grow. Some companies are looking to fold, and other people are looking to redefine themselves. And as such, we are doing the same. And part of the reason why I connected with Michael is because the fact that I'm looking to build out my ecosystem, whether it's building new partners, and I thank you for connecting me to Wayne Cerullo. That's going really well right now. Talking with other people as well. We specialize mostly in go-to-market, market development, as well as strategic product and corporate advising and strategy services. I offer, free half-hour conversations with anybody. If anyone would like to talk about this, my primary market is the tech space, as I said, because that's where I came from. Primarily the kind of earlier stage startups, the ones in the A/B round, all the way up to even multinationals if they're looking to really launch new initiatives, like building new solutions or new product lines or anything like. Something unique about me here is, so I was part of an organization called IntelliSense. As part of a company here, I launched a product called Collaborate.org. And while there, we actually had our company named, actually their CEO named Entrepreneur of the Year. And we were actually showcased on the BBC, 146 million listeners learning about the power of collaboration and working together. Looks like I'm kind of freezing here.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Your bandwidth is lower. There's something jittery.
Where I'm camping on Wi-Fi here. So apologies.
No problem. Yeah. Seemed like your bandwidth was constrained. All right. By the way, I encourage everybody to put their contact information in the chat. And then at the end, I'll ask folks to download the chat. So you have all of that information. So your name, obviously your company, LinkedIn, email, telephone, whatever you think is relevant. Greg Bardwell.
Hi guys, I'm Greg Bardwell, with a founder of Saturn One. I'm calling from just north of Washington, D.C. Saturn One is a analytics and return on investment reporting tool for small and medium-sized marketing agencies. That's why I'm here. I was invited as a guest by Michael earlier this week. We basically help agencies with our software as well as services to analyze website, channel data, local search, SEO content, and report it to clients via dashboard or more formatted reports, both of the marketing activity, but more importantly, the results of the marketing activity in terms of literally say, okay, if you invest $1,000 with our agency and here's what you spend and you get $4,000 back, your ROI is okay. I set myself up for failure. Math problem, I think it's like 3,000%. I didn't do that in advance. So that's what we do in a nutshell. Interesting about me is my first career was working for NASA as a spacecraft engineer. I also worked for the Navy as a spacecraft engineer. Believe it or not, they have a bigger budget than NASA for satellites and such. They're really much bigger, actually. And I've also worked for NSA with AI analytics tools some years back, and now I'm an entrepreneur full time, and this is kind of what I do. Basically, I can help with that. Set up campaigns, analyze campaigns, generate reporting,
and launch satellites, apparently.
Actually, yeah, rocket science. I also have a degree in astrophysics and computer engineering. So I'm pretty, even though I set myself up for the simple math problem failure, I used to be able to do gravitational, Einstein stuff, that sort of stuff. So.
Very cool. Yeah, I've seen Saturn One, the product, very impressive. So it's sort of an all-in-one multi-channel measurement, analytics, and reporting tool for agencies. So if that's something that you think you want to take a look at, so you have all of your content, and it also has a client portal so that you could open up a client view for the
I think
clients.
the biggest value we get, I think, is, you know, helps you engage your clients and show them what they're getting from your efforts. So
Very
thank
cool.
you.
Yeah, definitely, Greg, drop your info in the chat.
Will
David
do.
Libby, you're up.
Hey, Michael, good to see you. Thanks so much for having me on. Hey, everybody. Okay, so here's an offer. I will give you 10% of the gross revenue of a client we close. 10% for 6 months to a year. The clients are B2B technology companies. It's that simple. What do we do for them? We do public relations and content marketing. Similar to what Alan was talking about, but specific to only working with B2B technology companies. We had a client, he came to us with a story he could not articulate it on paper. We helped him rewrite it, remessage it. We turned it into a PR campaign. We got press in the backyards of his competing companies and the companies that he wanted to talk to about acquiring him. Two of those companies, Google and Microsoft, picked up that media and then started fighting over this one company. And in 4 months, this company got acquired by Google Cloud. So you can imagine the power of the written word really comes through when it's strategically written and then used as a PR tool. It's effective, it's efficient, it's productive, and it helps the client and it helps us because it builds our story. So let me remind everyone, in the last 30 seconds I will pay you 10% of the gross revenue for 6 months or a year, your choice, if you introduce us to a company and we close it. Thank you.
Why would anybody choose the 6 months over the year?
I'm just trying to get everyone's attention.
Okay. By the way, thank you for that referral. I spoke to the tech guy at the PR company today.
Oh, good, good, good. Oh, God, I hope that works out. It's going to be a
It'll
long-term
probably be
thing
a
for
small
you.
project, but it might turn into something else.
Oh, yeah, those government contracts last a long time.
Right.
Good.
All right. Thank you. And David
Thank you.
is in the Oakland area, Orinda, California.
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yep.
Peter Stein.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the invite, Michael. Nice to meet everyone. I'm Peter Stein. The company is Starista. I'm based in Florida, but the company is based in San Antonio, Texas. And we play on the audience side of marketing. So we have both business to business and business to consumer data. So we help our mid-market to enterprise-sized clients with targeting. And then we help them reach potential customers through an email sending platform that we own, as well as a digital platform. So we play in display advertising, connected television, and paid social through that platform. We work a lot with advertising agencies and other marketing services providers. I've been selling marketing services for 26 years, so understand the importance of collaborating with partners. So look forward to networking with each of you and seeing how we can help each other.
All right. Anything you want to add about yourself that to help people remember who you are?
Every 10 years or so, I get an itch to do something I've never done before. So 20 years ago, I ran New York City Marathon. About 10 years ago, I boxed for charity. I'll never do that again, but so trying to plan what comes next.
Well, you said 10 years ago, so you definitely you're on schedule. Anybody have
Yep.
any good ideas for Peter? Any good challenges? All right. Thank you so much. Graham Relf, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Graham Relf Design. We're a graphic design, branding, website, and digital marketing virtual agency. We're based in the New York metropolitan area, in New Jersey specifically. As you would tell from my accent, I'm a good Jersey boy. Yeah, we basically do all communication work. We will design and build a brand from the ground up, which will be logo design, help with messaging, positioning, which was just discussed about how important that is. See that through to primarily website for most companies. That's the starting point for all communications these days. And we'll also do communications around that, some digital marketing, thought leadership pieces. We do business presentations and templates for those presentations. So the kit and caboodle in terms of communications for any company. We work with solopreneurs, mid-sized companies, and also with international companies. Solopreneurs, mid-sized companies, we act as their sole branding agency, if you like. That's usually a ground build-up. And then for larger international companies, we'll work with their internal marketing group to produce any literature they need, or if they need a different perspective on what they're doing on the brand. We always state the brand. We're always interested in meeting CMOs, marketing groups, PR companies, startups and solopreneurs. And I'm always interested in meeting developers. Also, I work with PR groups and marketing groups. That's not my area, so I can bring work to those people, and also SEO people as well.
Besides your New Jersey accent, is there anything else that people should remember you by?
Not really. I have an American and English passport. I love scuba diving. That's the one other passion I have outside of my work and family.
Where are you going next?
I haven't got anything planned next. It's yeah, Caribbean is the go-to these days at the moment.
Right.
Caymans.
Easy access, relatively,
Yeah.
anyway. Rochelle Lisner, Rochelle, do you want to sort of use your time or combine it with your presentation?
But let me get, let somebody else go first. I just want to get my board set up for a second, okay? Just give me a
All right,
minute.
John Parsons, you ready?
More or less, thanks.
Okay.
So John Parsons with Into Ideas. I'm a nonfiction ghostwriter, and my latest author and I just came up with a book title that I think is fabulous. But I just want to tell you, it's a business leadership book, very unorthodox. He has principles that don't match well with other leadership books that I've seen or written. So the working title is Thinking Outside the Boss. So I'm getting nods. Okay, so that feeds my ego and my informal polling skills. So like I said, I do nonfiction book ghostwriting. My other business is actually my son's business. We do cost-effective video for promotions for book trailers. That's where our interests coincide. Who I'm looking for: agencies, marketing professionals, fractional or otherwise. Basically, anyone that David Libby has ever met would be, because he connected me with a fractional marketing person who had us do a promotional video for a tech company. And that's really our sweet spot, is working in video that is more affordable. We've figured out how to do it in a way that's SEO optimized. We don't do the SEO strategy, but we've figured out interesting ways to make those videos more findable and match the script to their keywords, and make sure that the closed caption files that are produced also coincide with their keywords. So that's pretty much my ideal content. Something interesting about me, I'm a hopeless addict to Monty Python. And so and much to my wife's chagrin, my latest author, the Thinking Outside the Boss author, loves Monty Python and wants to use illustrations from those sketches in his book. So my wife's not pleased, but I am.
All right, can't please everyone. So if you can't please everybody, you got to please yourself first. There's a song or something like that, right? Rochelle, you know what? I'll go, and then you'll take it over from there. I didn't miss anybody, did I? Anybody else? All right. So my name is Michael Bendit, and besides running this network, my core business is doing sales representation for boutique software development teams. And a lot of our work, most of it, is in the marketing world. So that's why I started the Trusted Referral Network. I get most of my business from referrals. And my best clients are, in fact, other digital agencies. Ultimately, if you're doing SEO, if you're doing advertising, if you're in the digital world, the client is ending up on a landing page or on a website. And if that website is slow or ugly or difficult to navigate, difficult to find the information they're looking for, you've spent all this money for naught. So your clients end up on a website. The website has to be good. It has to work, but it's also got to be affordable. So my teams, and there's about a dozen of them, as I mentioned, I've got a pretty broad range of capabilities and price ranges. And most of the work that I do is with my dual shore teams. So those are teams that have a couple of people here in the US, but most of them offshore. And that saves the client money, but also saves them potential headaches from working directly with an offshore team. People come to me because I've vetted my teams. These are teams that I know do good work at a fair price, can be trusted to deliver and do the right thing. So that takes de-risks the project considerably. And the clients don't pay me directly. Of course, I do get paid. I get paid as a commission of a portion of the gross revenue, and of which I pay a quarter of my commission out to referrers. And what's I guess one of the things that's unique about me, I spent my first couple of years of my career in Japan working in the semiconductor industry. And at some point I knew how to speak Japanese, but it's been a long time. So don't come up to me with conversational Japanese and expect me to respond. Okay, let's go to gallery mode. Rochelle, are you ready to do a 15-minute showcase? You're on mute. You're on mute, Rochelle. Yeah, you're still on mute. Rochelle, you're on mute.
You're on mute. You're on
I
mute.
thought I unmuted. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
All right,
it's
take it away.
Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth. And you all know that I say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along or limp along business growth. And one of the areas that I always want to focus on is how do you speak about your business? Very often people that I deal with, they are, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this. They're long-winded. If they can say something in 2 words, they do about 30. They're long-winded, they're common, they're boring. And I guess everybody, we lose interest. I know I do. I mean, I went to a presentation a while ago. It was a friend of mine. They did something on financial planning, etc. And he said, Rochelle, come to my presentation. Let me know what you think. And I went. Mistake. Now, he asked, what did you think? And I said, if I had the ability to give you a summons, I would. To get people up at an early hour to come in and to listen to this, you deserve a summons. A summons. I mean, it was just awful. So let's just go into what does it take to really speak, professionally and interesting about your business. I find that and let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I believe that there are 2 types of architects. There's an architect that puts up a 4-family house. Notice my artistic skills. So we already need to imagine. So you need the 4-family house, or there's an architect that puts up the Freedom Tower. Now there's a huge difference in skill set, and there's a huge difference in pricing. And I find that most of the clients I work with, they have Freedom Tower skills, but they represent themselves like the common, ordinary, boring 4-family, architect. So that's a major dilemma, because if you have Freedom Tower skills and you're presenting yourself like the ordinary and the common, you're not pricing effectively. Once we can get clear on what's your X factor, you can totally price. And I can't even tell you how many people I've made them increase their pricing based on understanding this. Now, when you do talk about your business, there's 3 parts. Number 1, you've got I call it the 3 C's. Number one, you have to catch someone's attention. Number two, you have to tell a compelling story. And my line is, are you storytelling or boring telling? Your story will let me know what are your Freedom Tower skills. Now, David Libby has always told me stories that I just get a sense of what he does. And therefore, because his stories are so clear with what he can do and the high level skill that he has, I can't wait to refer him. I only wish I could do more because his stories are so compelling to me. And the other thing is, I want to know what your call to action is, because when we ask when we ask and speak about our companies, if you do not have a call to action, people will do nothing. So that's about the overall of what I do. And the program is called Your Ultimate Power Pitch, because when you speak powerfully, let me tell you, it's pretty amazing. Now, let me give you some examples. I had a client that was pest control. I never thought that I'd be going into business and be, a maven in bed bugs. I mean, go figure. But the person had a presentation that he was giving out of the country in Asia to an audience about the landmarks that he did. He was doing the pest control for landmarks. Now, when I first spoke, worked with him, he had slides that had, I don't know, 30 lines per slide. And I said, are you out of your mind? You're talking to an audience that doesn't speak English with an interpreter, and this is what you're showing them? Like, hello? Well, we redid it. We did pictures, and every picture told a story. So, for example, there was a picture of the Empire State Building, and we said that it was with a green, the top of the Empire State Building was green, and he said he created the environmental friendly pest control for the Empire State. Then we did a picture of the UN. And this was brilliant because we said, if you think my president had trouble with the UN, I had trouble with the UN. And they looked at him like, what? And he said, 2 weeks before the general mission, the UN was infested with bed bugs. And then we had pictures, and he said, imagine if this leader went home with bed bugs. Imagine if this leader went home with bed bugs. They were howling. Bottom line, there was a person in the audience from Japan who did not do any bedbug work. We wound up creating an entire system that he implemented overseas and charged him a couple $100,000 for it, because he reduced his learning curve of all of this by years. A great presentation is unbelievable. This particular presentation and the way he spoke about his business literally brought him in millions. I've worked with just a graphic designer. She had the most amazing PowerPoints, and she was undercharging because she wasn't speaking about her Freedom Tower skills. And I made her triple her fees. I have a non-for-profit client, same situation. He was speaking common, and we looked into his X factor and doubled his fees. So the way you speak about your business is important. It allows you to, I get to see, my question is, what is the problem that you solve? And when I hear about it, I can understand how high level you are. And then based on that, I know who to refer you, or I know what who I can either refer you, or what your fee scale is, or what the kind of business that you do. I recently worked with several attorneys, and it was really funny. I redid he was an immigration attorney that after I redid his pitch, he didn't recognize himself. He goes, oh my, is that me? Like, whoa. So now, again, one of the things that I love that Rajiv does is that he uses bold language. He starts off by saying, I'm an assassin. If that doesn't freak you out, like what does? But everyone will remember him. He definitely, we go from unclear to unforgettable. That is unforgettable. Once he says that, like, what's he talking about? And if you're an assassin, you have the audacity to claim it. But yes, he does, because he backs up his work and he understands what he does. So your pitch is pretty important. People undervalue it. They don't understand how it can impact the rest of their business. So I start with the repositioning. I start to figure out what's your position. We change the language, we create your pitch, and I upscale your revenue. So that's a little bit of a background. And if anybody's got any questions, let's just ask me some questions.
Yeah, anybody, so you could, might as well, we'll go to gallery mode. Anybody have any questions for Rochelle?
Right.
I have the most annoying question that you could anticipate.
Go ahead.
How do you what's your billing strategy, or how do you do you work on a retainer, or how do you do it?
Depends. If it's with a company, it's a retainer. If it's my power pitch, I just do the pitches and I charge for that. They work differently. It's either the
So you
pitch
want to talk
or
about
I'll
your
pitch and
power
I'll
pitch
create the
program?
pitch, or I'll work on a retainer, because very often this brings me into the company. I do longer contracts with them.
You want to talk at all about your power pitch program, the one you're doing for lawyers? Is it?
I'd like to do my next power pitch program, looking for 5 attorneys. I've done a group, I've been doing attorneys recently, and they've been getting a lot of really amazing results in a short period of time, because again, they're all very common and relatively, I hate to say it, boring. So when I can reposition them, people kind of pay attention. Definitely pay attention. So I want to do ideally February, March. I'd like to do 5 attorneys and let that be my next cohort. And then I'll do a cohort with different types of individuals later in the year, maybe April, May, something like that. But I
So you're
love
looking for
working with
attorneys who
sales.
want to up their game, their presentation game.
Well, it's presentation, and it's the stories that you tell. And here's the other thing I'd like to kind of guard people with. Very often, and I see it in this group, a lot of people say that they're in business for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 130 years. I'd like you to be careful when you say it, because if you don't tell me why, you've just positioned yourself as prehistoric and not futuristic. And the reason I'm saying that is because business bring me in because they've been in business for 50 years and they have a very hard time adapting to change. So when somebody tells me they're doing something for 30 and 40 years, my initial reaction is they are old school and they're not in the new world. They're not, forward thinking. They're not on trend. Now, if you tell me why that was important, so if somebody could say, I've been doing this for 35 years and I've seen up markets, down markets, markets that have not even been identified, and I'm a business warrior, okay. But if somebody just says, I'm doing this for 35 years, I automatically put them in the prehistoric category, because in today's market, what you did 30 years ago doesn't even exist. I mean, some people use fax machines. Who uses a fax machine? No, nobody. People used to type on, actually typewriters. Do I care that you had, 80, you can do 80 words a minute on a typewriter? No. It's not current to what we're talking about right now. And if somebody says they're in business for 20 years, you can get a person today that is just so savvy, and they're in their industry for 8 years and they can outshine somebody doing something for 30 years, because very often somebody that's doing something for an extended period of time are in their comfort zone and they're not willing to take on new technology. They're not good with risk management. They're in their comfort zone. So if you are doing something, tell me a story that represents 30 years. Don't tell me you're doing it for 30 years. At least that's me. Because I'll put you in the old fart category. Old, you're antique.
So Rochelle, it's a mistake to say I've been in computers for 40 years.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. It's also a mistake that we're not dyeing our beards, John.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know, right?
You can tell me a story that represents your current level of skill, not that because here's the key. If people that are in charge of the decision makers today, very often the decision maker that's holding the purse string is 40 years old. He's not going to feel comfortable bringing somebody in that's his grandfather's age or his parents' age, unless that person really has the skill that they need.
I mean, I've done books for quite a while now, but one of my bragging points is on that computer I did this book.
That's the Bible.
What is it? The Bible?
No. It's a book of meditations, but I actually produced it on that machine. I wouldn't recommend it. I was not smart to do it.
But the key is, what is that telling somebody that wants to hire you today?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know if it is.
Well,
I
we
want
can
to
make,
know what book did you do, this year? What was the author that, based on working with you, he was able to get a book out very quickly?
yeah, of course. Of course.
So-
No, I'm joking. I'm
No,
joking
I'm
with,
just saying, we've got to be very clear when we tell somebody we're doing something for an extended period of time.
sure.
Now, if you give us great story, it's a little different, but if you just leave it, I'm doing this for 30 years, I
No,
don't
no,
know.
Got it. What, any other questions,
Yeah, I have another
comments?
question, Rochelle. This is a little bit far afield, possibly, but listening to you and how dynamic you are in terms of helping people improve their presentation skills. I own a PR firm. Have you ever done or thought about doing media prep or working with a PR firm to help their clients prepare for media? Did you freeze? No, you didn't freeze.
I can do it verbally. I'm very good verbally. PR is a little different. When you're prepping somebody for media, you're prepping them also for the camera, the angle, the camera, where do you look, what do you wear, what colors go great on media. Well, it depends if you're on TV. I don't do that end of it.
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't
can
have to.
great verbally.
Right. Just helping people talk about whatever their pitch is, but in a compelling way that is succinct and
Absolutely.
and in sound bites and gets their point across.
Totally. That
So,
I'm great at.
yeah,
But
so
the other
that's
part of
yeah.
media, I'm not.
Right.
I couldn't tell somebody, what makeup works better, what time.
Yeah.
Matter of
not
fact,
talking
I
about
would
that.
send a client of mine to media specialists because they would need the presentation component of it, not the verbal, but the other part of it. But I wouldn't feel comfortable telling somebody that I'm a media expert because the media has that second component to it.
Okay.
If it's
Right.
just verbal portion of it, now, would I work with somebody and they can do the other part of it? That
Mhm.
would be a great synergistic combination.
Mhm.
But just to leave me out and for me to claim that I'm a media expert, here's the thing, I can't claim something that that I can't back.
Mhm.
All right.
I
Thank you,
all night
Michelle.
saying I'm not a media person.
But I think what Alan is saying is that that's a partnership you might want to explore. People that do
Very much
media
so.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Falato just joined. Michael, do you want to take a 2-minute intro?
Sure.
You did miss others, but happy to have you take 2 minutes and tell us. Of course, you know the drill.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry I was late. I've been trying to get to these for months now, back in the fold. I've been doing like 15 calls a day. Yeah, I do lead gen automation. I basically do email automation, LinkedIn automation, and I do things like this, roundtables for my clients. Really, it's what I do. And it's really kind of a thought leadership, like let's get people in a roundtable and basically talk about what works, what doesn't. On email, I send about 15 to 25,000 emails a day. I'm sorry, a month. I'm sorry, a month, and about 150 emails a day on LinkedIn, about 200 invites on LinkedIn. So between LinkedIn, email, roundtables, I produce about 10 to 20 meetings on average per month. I've raised about, I'm not raised, but I've closed about 650 the first year of doing this, $1 million year 2, and about $1.5 million year 3. So it's been going really well. I love to work with other companies, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, other companies, other clients, and really focus in on selling. Let me help you on the hunting side because it's very time consuming to do it, the automation approach. So, any questions?
I think when you said 15 to 25,000 emails per month, that's for one given client, right?
Yes. Yeah, each client. So I would say, about 5 to 10,000 uniques, because we're probably doing 2 to 3 emails
Right.
per person. We're going 4 to 5 deep in the company. And the whole idea is don't sell in your emails or your LinkedIn. Talk about what you can do for them. Let's grab a virtual cup of coffee. Let's just see if there's a fit. But too many people use HubSpot, they use their LinkedIn and email, and they're just throwing crap at the wall. It's not really the best way to do it.
Absolutely. I can vouch for that. Not that I've done it that way, but I've the soft
Yeah.
sell. I mean, I do outreach to bring people into this network, for example.
Yeah,
and
I
good
actually helped
folks.
you do that, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, you certainly did.
Yep. And then Michael actually got some referral money for me as well, bringing me clients. So I paid that day. I get paid, you get a Zelle the same day.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
Yeah, I
So
got paid
yes,
by Michael too.
I'm gonna go back to the gallery mode. And first of all, thank you all for coming. Rajiv and Lynn, you wanted to get some feedback from folks on taglines.
Yeah. So,
All right.
okay, fine. So let's kind of like go straight into it. So there's just to kind of like tell everyone. So I hope all of you know about Lily Launch Tools. So Lily Launch Tools is a tool that allows you to build your strategy. Lately, we've been receiving a lot of interest from goal setting and interest in goal setting, and we've kind of like repositioned to a degree Lily as a goal setting tool. So it's a way to kind of write down your goals and then make those goals come true because it does the containing of the goals and the tracking of the goals. Anyway, the point that we need your help in is that we've kind of come up with like a list of taglines, just conceptual taglines, but we kind of want to know from the group which taglines are kind of like leading in the right direction. Because like Rochelle says it so often, we don't want to do any boring telling. We don't want to do any schlep along anything. So we want to do something that pops, but also something that's easily understood so that people have like a crystal clear idea as to what this is, so that they can know what we're talking about to begin with. Lynn, anything you want to add to that?
Just for context, the current tagline is better, faster, smoother launch, because it's a product launch software. But as Rajiv said, we've actually had a lot more interest in the goal setting part of it because it goes all the way from goals right down to tactics. And people have been really sort of interested in us helping them set their goals originally. So we're kind of wondering if that's the direction to go because that's what the market's telling us. So that's why we've come up with these set of taglines. So if there are any, Rajiv's put them in the chat, if there are any that you would like to say really stand out for you, or if you want to put number 1, 2, 3 and say which ones work for you, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
So let me add some context there for those people who haven't seen the sample of the software, how it works. And maybe you might want to just bring up that screen that shows how you break down a goal into, several levels of detail, which is great because people may have a strategy, so to speak, but, getting from strategy to actually implementation, people forget things, right? I mean, they get lost. By the way, I froze. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we still hear you.
All right, but that's an indication of the whole thing might crash soon. So I'm not gonna touch it. But if people take a look at the chat, open up the chat. It looks like I'm crashing. I won't do it myself. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
All right, so I'll let people take a look at it and provide some feedback. Open up the chat. And I hope my Zoom will not crash before, another 7 minutes or so.
Michael, do you want to make one of us as co-host or something?
It's completely frozen. I can't do anything.
Got it. Got it.
Okay. You've
Yeah.
got to be careful with getting things done because that's David Allen. I think the guy's anyway. It's trademarked.
Oh, okay.
There's an entire program on getting things done, so that one I wouldn't go near, and it's pretty popular and whatever. So stay away from that.
I'm going to agree with Zev that Ready Set Goals is probably the best for me.
We liked that as well, but we need to check that there's quite a few people using it, so we need to check that it's not trademarked. But we really liked that one as well.
How about from goals to results? Because people want results. Goals are sort of overused. The word goals is very, very overused. And it's one of those, what I was saying, it's a common, what I call an unhearable word because it's used, it's so overused that if you keep using it, I think you're going to blend and it's not going to stand out. I think you need something bolder. But you're going from results. So it's not really a program You know, a lot of people have goals, but they don't have the results. So I like, you know, from goals to results, something like that, because it's more tangible for me.
And David, just to answer your question, there's no mention of the product launch. No, there isn't, because it was developed originally as a product launch software, admittedly, for the life science industry. But most people are not focused on that because Rajiv's just recently used it, and it might be something that you're all interested in. Rajiv's just recently used it to help his sister-in-law with
college application process, which is like a 2-year sprint, and people spend like $100,000 to $200,000 on the entire process. So that could be kind of like a new niche that we might be kind of getting into. Both Lynn and I are actually working with students in like slightly different ways, but we're both working with students and using Lily in the process and using mindset coaching and all that stuff.
So what's the benefit horizontally then across all these different verticals? I'm looking at this list of taglines and it's not, nothing's calling out to me yet that tells me if I use this, I'm going to get from point A to point B faster, more efficiently, more productively. What's the big benefit?
Yeah, so we're trying to communicate, you know, that this is a way to kind of do your goal setting easier. So because goals as a concept is something that everyone understands, whether you're a founder, whether you're a CEO, whether you're an employee, goals are kind of like an everyday part of life. So we're trying to go in this like a slightly different direction in the goal, in that using the goal nomenclature, like using that as a descriptor for what it is.
Got it. Okay.
I'd like to add one thing that I think the real unique aspect of it is that it helps, it takes you from goals to, you know, all the way through to, you know, where the rubber meets the road. So it sort of guides you to make, to enable, to make goals happen, right?
Exactly.
It's not just setting.
That's what I put in the
Goal
chat.
setting, it's implementation. It's goal implementation. It's not about setting the goal. Everybody can set the goal. It's doing it. So that's why I'm saying from goals to result. You know, you're doing it. You're not just setting the goal.
John Parsons has his fingers up.
I have several of them. I have a thing because a good metaphor for launch in rocketry is countdown. So countdown to results is what came to mind.
That's great.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I still think that, you know, aside from being creative, just get to the point, and that's